We're going live right now. We're talking about the PGA Championship. Mike, take it away. I heard something about these new green surfaces.
All right, well, let's start up first off where it is. It's at the Ocean Course at Kiowa Island Golf Resort in South Carolina. 2021 PGA Championship. It's a field of 156 players where the top 70 plus ties make the cut. We have a par 72, 7,846 yards, and it has 4 par 5s. So obviously, it's a longer course. Distance is going to be very key.
Yes.
The last time that it was played at this particular course was in 2012, and Rory McIlroy won by 8 shots.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little weird, though. They had a weather problem on the second day, so they played the third and fourth rounds all on Sunday. They stayed in the same threesomes. They never regrouped like they usually do. So he got to be kind of comfortable. You know, it's almost like that they gave him a little bit of an advantage. So the weather's supposed to be pretty nice this weekend, so they're not really talking about that too much. What makes this course different from a lot of the other courses is most courses on the PGA Tour, the green surface is Bermuda or bent grass greens. And this is a surface called Papspalum. And it's really only used on ocean courses and resort-type courses. So a lot of the PGA Tour players don't have a lot of experience, you know, playing on them. They don't really play on them too much. So
I noticed they haven't had a tournament at this place since 2012.
No, and now so far this year on the PGA Tour, there has been no courses with this particular green surface. There was one tournament, however, that was in Saudi Arabia called the Saudi International, and that's where we're going to get into who we like for the bets this week. That tournament took place on February 7th, and it was won by Dustin Johnson, and that's exactly where I want to start with this card. Now,
yes.
Dustin Johnson, you know, he's been trending upward the last few weeks. He hasn't really been putting good, but he's gained the last tournament that he played, he gained 5 shots on the field, tee to green. So his game is really coming into form, and on a course where you need to be long and have good iron play, he's the best that there is at doing that.
Yes, and I mean, I can't stress enough how good he was last year going on that tear, and he came up just short in the PGA Championship where he had it pretty much won. So you know he definitely wants to get back in the winning circle here.
No doubt about it, and you know he's kind of been building up to this point now. His odds right now, depending on where you look, he's at plus 1,700 or plus 1,850, which for him is crazy. Now, listen, we've been winning money betting the stars as their price rises to a point. We bet Rory McIlroy 2 weeks ago when he was at plus 1,700. So now you're going to give us Dustin Johnson on a course where it's suited to his strengths at plus 1,700. You got Rory, John Rahm, Thomas. You got Justin Spieth.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
And Xander Schauffele with higher odds than Dustin Johnson. He's the best golfer in the world. Now,
absolutely preposterous.
There's a little bit of thought out there right now that he's hurt. That's why he withdrew from last week's tournament. But there's videos of him doing backflips off of yachts. Basically, the guy was just on vacation.
Yep.
And
he's like, fuck that, I'm playing the PGA Championship next week. Why am I going to play in this?
Yeah, he's like, I'm not playing in the Byron Nelson, okay? So what he decided to do was, I'm going to take some time off. Now, the Byron Nelson was just a birdie fest where the winning score was in the 20s, you know, so it doesn't really equate to this kind of course. You know, a major championship is going to be much harder. And a guy like
they're growing out the rough.
A guy like Dustin Johnson, he plays for majors. That's what's important to him, not winning the Nelson or like, you know, the Podunk Championship in Iowa.
Exactly. So, he's going to be motivated for this.
Yes, he really is. And I like him. You know, a guy like Rory, you know, I know a lot of people are going to be on Rory.
I like Rory too. You know, he's won at this course before. You know, listen, it was in 2012. I get it. But there's something to be said for that. It is, you know, the green surface, you know, we haven't really got into that, how important that is. Certain guys putt really well on certain surfaces. And certain guys don't.
No doubt about it. And Rory has played well here. But I'll tell you this. It's hard for me to bet a guy that a couple weeks ago we didn't have too much confidence in to win his second tournament in 3 weeks, this one being a major with everyone there in the field. Now, can he win? Definitely. But he's going to be a guy that we're going to recommend you fade. plus 1150. He's basically 10-1. The value's not really there, but the value is on Dustin Johnson at that kind of a price. For him to be the 7th highest golfer is just craziness.
Now, you want to talk about value. Now, I found Justin Rose finished 3rd here in 2012 when Rory won, and he's at plus 9,000 in certain spots on FanDuel, certain places that you look. That's talk about value, and he's been in pretty good form of late. He competed at the last major pretty well at the Masters.
No doubt. And also at the Saudi International that Dustin Johnson won, he came tied for 2nd on the same Paspalum greens. Now, I was just reading an article about Justin Rose that he really likes this surface. It really fits his game well. So, yeah, he's a guy, especially if you play DraftKings, I would definitely be using him in DraftKings.
Because value alone.
This week they got the Millie Maker and DraftKings $20 buy-in. Justin Rose, he also has the potential to miss the cut because you know how he is sometimes, but he also has a lot of high value. He's a guy that people might be overlooking, just because, there's bigger names out there right now. But Justin Rose certainly is live, and a guy that I like, even though he doesn't win, is Tony Finau. Now,
oh my God, I know. Listen, it's gonna be hard for me to follow you on this and click the outright win bet on Finau. I like him better for top 5 at plus 700. I don't know about you. I think you can win. Listen, and we love Dustin. If Dustin wins or Rose wins, and we have Finau also, that's a nice little payday. And I mean, that's what we're here to do. That's a great bet if you're looking to smash on both.
Here's the thing: on DraftKings, he's plus 550 for top 5. Now, yeah, you could do that if that's how you want to make your bet. But for me, that just doesn't really get the juices flowing. I got a little more gamble in me than that. So basically, the way I'm looking at it is the PGA Championship has had a lot of first-time major winners.
Yes.
Justin Thomas won his first major. Back in the day, John Daly. So where Colin Morikawa won his first major at the PGA Championship. Now, look, it's very hard to put your trust in a guy that's never closed the deal. But last year at the PGA Championship, he didn't lose it like he normally does. He played great in the final round. Morikawa just played a little bit better and took it. So
that shot he hit.
So listen, Tony Finau, who really plays well in these kind of tournaments, the course again fits his game. Also, he has gained 2.1 shots against the field on these green surfaces compared to what he does on regular greens. So he putts a little bit better.
He's a little more comfortable.
He also finished tied for 2nd in the Saudi International. So you're going to talk about a guy at plus 4,000. I understand if you don't have – it's hard to pull the trigger on him to win.
It is. Because you know what? Because he hasn't won. He's only won the Puerto Rican Open. It's hard for me to put stock in that, especially when we're betting our own money here. It's hard. But when he wins, I do want to be the one. I would like to say that I had it. Of
course, I think everyone that bets golf would like to say that because Tony Finau is a likable guy. People want him to win. Now, it's just there's going to be a time where the guy wins. He's too good not to. In a field like
he's always right there to choke it away. He's there in contention always.
Listen, in a field like this, it's tough to take him, but the guy has shown over and over he's consistently playing in the majors at a very high level. So, to me, a guy, look, you could take him for top 5, plus 550. Top 10 is plus 300 on DraftKings. So you're better off taking him top 10 if you're going to bet that than top 5. It's not.
Well, I saw on FanDuel. I saw Finau for top 5. I saw him at 700.
Well, that's nice. So you got to shop.
You got to shop around a little bit. Sometimes DraftKings has better. Sometimes FanDuel does. That's a significant uptick.
This week has a lot better for the outright wins.
DraftKings does for the outright winner.
They do. Now I'll tell you a guy that's been very popular. He's been bet down already. He opened up right around 27. He's already down to 2,000. Is Victor Hovland. Now, Victor Hovland has been playing great golf. He also, at that Saudi International, finished tied for 6th at minus 11 with Terrell Hatton, who's another guy that we'll talk about in a minute.
Yes.
Victor Hovland, I'd be wary of the guy that's like the sexy pick, if you want to call it that. A lot of people are on him because they think he's going to break through. I just don't see it. This is a kind of course where you really got to be sharp around the greens, and that's probably the weakest part of his game.
Yeah.
To me, I know he's got a lot of comparisons to Rory, but I just don't see it there, especially at that price. If he was a little.
But what about what you said about like the first-time winners, though? I mean, because you can make that argument.
No, that's true, but there's other guys a little farther down the board that are better. And I'll give you one right now before we get into some other guys.
Yeah.
And I don't know about Wynn, but Cameron Smith, okay? He's a guy.
I have him to win a major this year.
Listen, I know. Well, this is one that he can really get, and let me tell you why. First of all, he's been in great form lately. Another golfer, he's gained 1.6 strokes on Paspalum greens, okay, as opposed to other greens. So he can putt on this type of surface. He's comfortable with it. He's played well in majors. He's been right there. He won the team event. He's trending towards, you talk about a guy, a first-time major win. I personally would rather take Cam Smith at double the odds, and he's a guy that's won on tour before. So you're going to tell me I'm going to take Hovland at half his odds when I can get a guy like Cam Smith? I personally would rather go with a guy like Cam Smith than Hovland in a tournament like this.
Now, if you were going to pick somebody close to his odds, Hovland, instead of going with the overvalue, because I like Cam Smith. I hope he wins, and I love the pick. He was close in the PGA Championship last year. He finished top 5. The guy that I'm comparing to Hovland, if you're going to take him or Hovland, I like Colin Morikawa to repeat. I mean, look, he won. It's a different course.
Of course. Well, I'll say this. First of all, if you look at the odds, Hovland is the only golfer in the 20s, in the 20-1. He's in his own range. It's very odd. They almost are treating him like Xander Schauffele, a guy that never won, that they're grouping with the top guys, but he's not a top guy yet.
Listen, that's like the Cantlay, Schauffele, yeah.
Well, the fact that Morikawa, okay, and a guy like Hovland is 1,000 points less is ridiculous. Morikawa has won 3 times on tour. He's a major champion. And you're going to put him behind a guy like Hovland, that is not a good bet. It's just not – it's not smart. You take guys that win, guys that can finish. And as I say that, I'm going to put money on Tony Finau like an idiot.
Listen, speak about guys that can finish. What about Patrick Reed? Statistically speaking, he is the best putter on tour to date this season. And you're saying you got to be good around the greens. He's won majors. Well, he's won a major. He won the Masters. Wore his green jacket everywhere. After he's at the NBA Finals in his green jacket. Listen, you don't think he wants to win another major so people consider him one of the top dogs?
Of course.
He is a top dog.
He's such a troll, too. There'd be no better guy to win than him. I never have a problem taking Patrick Reed. Plus 3,500 for him. I mean, they got him grouped with Scotty Scheffler.
Come on.
Scheffler's never won. Patrick Reed is a much better golfer than Scotty.
Much better. Patrick Reed finishes. When he gets there, he gets it done. That's why I like him. Jason Day's another guy. If it's windy out, in these resort courses on the island, Kiowa Island, it's known for wind, even though the weather's not going for it.
Jason Day can win out of anywhere. There's no doubt about it. I just
I know.
Look,
he's got
if there's
value.
a place, Day was another one. I think he won his first major at the PGA Championship. So listen, Jason
Plus
Day,
11,000.
I didn't really think about him. He's 11,000.
Yeah. That's value.
10, his odds for top 10 is what? Do you know?
That I'm not sure. I didn't actually look that up ahead of time. Check that out.
Yeah, because listen, at plus 11,000, there's obviously.
Yeah, talk about when a guy gets there who finishes.
Plus 1,600, he's 1,600 for top 5 and 700 for top 10. Now listen, Jason Day,
what is he for top 10?
700.
Okay.
But Jason Day, listen, if you're gonna bet him, Jason Day is literally gonna miss the cut, or he's going
to fight for the win or win.
There's going to be no in between. He's not a guy that's going to lurk around. He's either going to be terrible or he's going to be really good.
Yes.
So that's a guy that, you can take a flyer on him. I'd be looking to play guys that can really drive the ball far. It definitely is an advantage and are good with the long irons.
What do you think about a guy like Ryan Palmer for top 10? A guy that drives the ball. He drives it as far as anybody, almost.
Agreed. On any given week, Ryan Palmer.
He's had a lot of top 10s.
He does. he's not really for me.
I know. You're not a Ryan Palmer better. I mean,
I'm not really a fan. A guy I would rather take, and I've already put a bet on him for first-round leader, is Keegan Bradley.
I love it. He finished second.
Keegan Bradley in the field gains the most strokes on Papsum greens. Now,
yes,
for him to win it would be a little bit crazy. I think he has won one major. I don't know off the top of my head which one it was. So Keegan Bradley could play, man, and I won on him 2 weeks ago, first-round leader.
That was a great bet.
I'd bet him again, first-round leader. He's a guy, especially if you want to go on DraftKings lineup a little farther down the board. He's a guy that you could stick in there that, he came tied for third when they played it in 2012. He's in great form right now. He almost won a couple of weeks ago when Sam Burns won. Burns took him out at the end. But Keegan Bradley is a guy that I would certainly consider first-round leaders, group betting in the 3 balls and stuff like that.
Yes. Top 5. I mean, even top 10, top 20.
Definitely. He has the ability to shoot real low on any given day. He also has the ability to be the first-round leader and miss the cut. So you have to know that you get the full Keegan experience.
Yes.
Okay. He hasn't really blown up in a while. He's been playing really good golf. He's been solid. He's a guy definitely that I think
I never have any problem having a little bit of fun with Keegan Bradley.
Show some life. Another guy, if the conditions get bad, that we spoke about is Mark Leishman, plus 7,000 to win. He's 1,000 for top 5. He's a guy that traditionally plays his best golf when it's tougher out.
In the wind.
Now, listen, here's the thing, though. If it's not windy at this course, the winning score is going to be like 15, 16 under. If it's windy, though, and like they said, because of where it is, they don't really know. There's no, as of right now, it's
weather changes like that there.
Yeah, it's Tuesday night, so they don't really know. There's no like wave of guys. Should you take the morning or the evening guys? There's nothing like that just yet. Yeah. So a guy like Leishman is a guy, especially for DraftKings, that you could throw in there. And if it gets bad and you have him, he's a guy that can really play well in those kind of conditions.
And he can set you apart in those DraftKings tournaments, absolutely. Another guy I wanted to ask you about, speaking of, certain guys breaking through, it just so happens at the PGA Championship. What do you think about Tommy Fleetwood if the weather got worse? I mean, I know you're not a Fleetwood man either. Either am I. I mean, but right?
Tommy Fleetwood should go back to Europe and get a few Euro wins before he thinks he's going to take on the big boys over here in the PGA Tour. I just have no faith in him closing out the deal. You could take him for a top 10 or a top 5 if you want. I would never pick him to win, though. I don't think he'll do it. I think he'll have his usual one bad round where he's terrible, and just he's not a guy for me. A guy for me, though, I will tell you this: I don't know if he can win. Gary Woodland. Gary Woodland's been playing good. Listen, he hits the ball far. Okay,
he does.
He's good with his irons. He's decent around the greens. He putts pretty well on the surface. I'm this is more for like DraftKings than actual outright betting. So far, the guys that we've talked about. For me, my main play, Dustin Johnson. I think he's the guy to bet. He's the best player in the world. They got him ranked 7th with the odds. That's value. That's what I look for when I'm betting golf.
Can I ask you about the elephant in the room?
Listen, the odd that makes no sense on the best player, especially in a major, is the guy I'm putting my money on. So we've won money on Dustin Johnson so many times. Like I said, he's been trending upward. His only thing he has been doing has been putting. And now he's going back on a putting surface that he won on in February in Saudi Arabia. Really like him this week. A guy that does scare me, though, is Bryson DeChambeau.
I was just going to say the elephant in the room, no pun intended. Yeah.
Well, listen, he's another guy. He scares me because he has the ability to bring any course to its knees.
Great putter.
A course that, distance is key, and this is 7,800 yards.
Yes.
Plus the 4 par 5s, par 72, like we said earlier.
The king of distance.
Yeah, it's tailor-made for him. If he can keep the ball in the fairway. I don't know how the rough is, but if you're hitting it that far, I'm sure he can hack it out of there. Hopefully he's been eating a few extra peanut butter and jellies.
I just thought of someone else, Mike. I just thought of somebody else real quick, a guy that's won the PGA Championship. What about Brooks Koepka?
Again, he hasn't played with the knee. Remember, we took him in the Masters.
I know.
But knee injury, not for me. I got to see the guy play. I'm not betting money on him to win. Listen,
I know.
Listen, could he win? Yeah, of course he could if he's healthy. But there's no reason to believe that he is. Now, I will tell you this. Right now, his number, it's plus 5,000. I mean, if it got a little lower and it got to like 6,000, 7,000, I might throw a couple dollars on him.
Yeah,
but
right.
I don't have the faith in him right now. When you have a bad knee, you can play good for a round or two, but to walk for 4 days after not playing,
yeah,
he hasn't played since the Masters, I don't think.
Yeah, no, he hasn't. Yeah.
And, you're telling me he's going to come back and win? That's a tall task even for him.
Now, do you know who's playing? Do you know who's playing this week? Garrick Higo. What do you think about Garrick Higo? I mean, I'm definitely betting Garrick Higo. I will not bet him. I don't expect him to win, but he's got the game.
For people that are maybe new to golf or whatever, we'll break him down for you a little bit. He's a 21-year-old kid. He's from South Africa, but he went to college at UNLV, so he's been in the States before. He's won 3 times on the Euro Tour. He recently just won 2 out of the 3 weeks. These were also resort courses, but they were easy courses. Mm-hmm. But Garrick Higo, he's a lefty who hits the ball an absolute ton. On the first tournament that he won, on the 18th hole, he drove it 370 yards. He's a guy that you're going to hear this guy's name in the future. He's going to be a star in golf. There's just no doubt about it.
No doubt about it. He can also putt. He hits the ball for distance, and he hits it straight. And he's lefty.
He does it all.
Do lefties correspond with this course?
Look, I don't really know about that, but listen, here's the thing. It's a real tall task for a guy to come over from Europe and win. He's plus 14,000 to win, but there is value on top 5 and top 10 if he can make the cut, because plus 2,000 for top 5. You're talking, a guy that's as in form as you could possibly get. Now, it's hard to take the European guys. Look, it's hard to come over here and compete with the big boys after playing easier type courses. But if there's a kid that can surprise people, he tied Tiger Woods for the most wins in professional golf before they turned 21. Now, I'm not saying this guy's Tiger Woods. Believe me, I'm not. But he has a lot of talent. And, I mean, if he's hitting the ball the way he can hit the ball, there's not a course alive that can hold him. He hits it long. He hits it straight.
I mean, and we've been talking about how long this course is. Look, I wouldn't be shocked if he competed. That's all I'm saying. No, another Euro guy that we like that played last week, John Catlin. What do you think about John Catlin after getting a week under his belt in the States? He's another guy who's been in pretty decent form overseas. What do you think about John Catlin?
I think John Catlin, the course, the distance worries me a little bit for him, but the guy is a grinder. If the conditions get bad, John Catlin could be in play. If the conditions are a little more windy, when he just won, it was freezing out. And he won, and he's very calm under pressure. He's a real solid golfer, John Catlin. And as far as like the European Tour goes, I don't know how he's not on the PGA Tour. He's an American.
Yeah,
I think he's over there. He's found his little niche. He wins quite a bit.
No, he does. He's always in contention.
He's a guy that I would definitely have my eye on.
Speaking of having your eye on, a guy that I have my eye on is Thomas Pieters. In a bit, he's 19,000, opposed to Catlin. I mean, Catlin is 34,000.
Well, listen, Thomas Pieters has had success on the PGA Tour, and he's played well in majors before. He's top 5 in a couple different majors. Thomas Pieters is another guy, another DraftKings play that if you're looking to fill out your lineups after you take a guy at the top, one of the top guys, Thomas Pieters is a guy that definitely could be put in underneath. 2 other guys. I got a couple of guys that are way down the board for DraftKings. Victor Perez is one.
Yes.
He finished at the Saudi International. He finished tied for 4th at -12 on the same green surface as this. He's another guy that
I saw that in 2012.
He's another guy that if he can make the cut. No, I'm talking at the one that they just played in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, really? Oh, in 2012 he competed.
Victor Perez is a solid golfer that he could be like. Listen, there's always going to be a name in the top 10 of these tournaments that you're like, who the hell is that guy? He could be that guy. Like, who is he? He's a guy that I would think about. 2 other guys, if you're looking way down the board on DraftKings, Brian Gay and Richie Warinsky, both guys are 6,300 and 6,200 respectively for DraftKings prices. They also I read an article about them. They really like the green surface
Yeah.
of the Asplum.
I've noticed another guy who really likes this surface, Steve Stricker. He's competed at a lot of these tournaments, especially in 2012. He did well at this course. I believe he had a top 10 finish.
Only thing worries me about Steve Stricker is he's getting older. The distance could be a problem for him. He's at an extreme disadvantage with these guys that are going to outdrive him. You know, you're talking 20, 30, 40 yards a clip. It's very hard to compete. But that being said, look on the Euro Tour, Richard Bland, he was very short driver, and he won, robbed us.
Oh,
that
was brutal.
We're not going to get into that right now. You know, I think that's a pretty good breakdown. One other guy that we haven't talked about before we leave, Abraham Answer, another guy that I like. I'm not necessarily to win, but he's been contending every week, gained shots on the field on this green surface again. He's another type of guy, a DraftKings play that I love. He's I think he's 7,900 or 7,300 on DraftKings.
I believe Answer, well, on DraftKings he is, but to win he's 4,500. Yeah,
to win is a tall task because I just think, you know, he always has like a round where he doesn't putt good or, you know, things like that. But
no, Answer, I know. Go with the irons, though.
Answer is a guy, long iron play into the green. I certainly can make a case for him.
You just piqued my brain. What do you think about Hideki Matsuyama? I mean, he just won a major. The pressure's off. I know he's been flying all around the world.
Listen, let me tell you something about Matsuyama.
Yeah.
I don't think he has a cow's ass chance in hell. Okay, he's been touring Tokyo, shaking hands and kissing babies for a month now. If you think he's coming back and winning 2 majors in a row, the guy hasn't won in 4 years. No, thanks. Save your money.
Yeah, I think you're right. But listen, long iron player, you always got to think of him.
Yeah, long
always got to think
player.
of him. I just want to go over the odds quick before we sign off.
I want to say one prop before you get into that.
Okay.
They have I don't know, on you got to check the sites, but they have a hole-in-one prop. Will a hole-in-one be made on the golf course? It's minus 130 to be made. Plus, it's a plus 100 or even money for no hole-in-one. I'm going no hole-in-one. These par threes are long. Course is long. It could be windy.
Why are they trying to bait you into thinking that it's going to happen?
Well, a lot of times it does. I mean, look.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of times there's at least one hole-in-one in these tournaments. Look, Higgo hit a hole-in-one 2 tournaments ago in Europe.
Yeah.
But I really, really like, as a prop bet, no hole-in-one for the tournament at even money. I mean,
why not?
I don't think it's that kind of course. Like courses like the Masters, there's usually always 1 or 2. This is the kind of course, especially if the conditions get bad, it's going to be real tough for that to happen. So I like no hole-in-one as a side bet.
Hey, look,
if you're a complete degenerate like we are,
yeah,
for no hole-in-one.
Listen, you just piqued my degenerate interest because I didn't even know about that, and you bet your bottom dollar I'll have some money on that. Listen, I just wanted to go over the odds real quick that we talked about. We got Dustin Johnson at 1,700. He's our best bet. I like Patrick Reed because of his value at 3,600. Justin Rose is a guy that putts really well on this surface, and he feels very comfortable. He's at plus 9,000. We really like him. Mike likes Tony Finau, but buyer beware. We like him more for top 5. That would be the smart bet, but we like to go for the gold here.
Tony Finau is a guy that, you know, I'm going to feel like such an idiot when he blows the lead on Sunday or if he's in contention. But I just know if he can put it together, the game, the course suits his game so well.
It does.
And I feel like he's been on the weekends. Like, he hasn't just been folding up like a tent. Even when he lost last year in Phoenix to Webb Simpson, he played great. Webb just took it from him. So fact that, you know, he's going to break through eventually. Now, for him, he would have to hope that he's not staring down one of the big game hunters like, you know, a Rory or a guy that's going to, like, I wouldn't say intimidate him because I don't think he's intimidated, but a guy that's just better than him when the chips are on the table.
Well, at finishing, you know, there's guys that finish like Dustin, Reed, Rory. You know, there are guys that do finish.
Yes.
Colin Morikawa is 2,800. We got another one who's not a guy that we haven't talked about him, Matthew Fitzpatrick, plus 8,000. Another guy that you always see sneak up on you on the last day.
He's always in big contention. He's never really in it. You know, he he pretends he gets you, he sucks you in, and then he triple bogeys a hole, and you're like, this son of a bitch.
Yes.
And then on Sunday, he rattles off 7 birdies that mean nothing in pressure-free golf, and he finishes top 7, and you're like, wow, this guy's great.
Yeah.
Nah, not for me. Even though I do like him, he's a very good golfer.
Yes.
I would take him more for like a British Open, though. I think that's more suited to his style. To me, his course is a little long for him.
Agreed.
Not a guy I'm looking for personally, but I do understand why you would mention him. He's definitely a very good golfer.
Yes. Well, I just noticed for top 5, he's plus 1,100. Top 10, he's even 550. You know, I mean, a guy that sneaks into top 10s on the last day at 550, $200, paying 1,100. You know, that's a good bet. Another guy that I like for top 10, Keegan Bradley at plus 750. Justin Rose at plus 700. Those are top 10s. Top 5s, we like Finau at plus 700. We like Justin Rose at plus 1,300 for top 5. And Matthew Fitzpatrick, like I said, is 1,100. And Keegan Bradley is 1,500 for top 5.
And
that's
Keegan
more
Bradley,
likely not to happen.
Like I said earlier, I bet him first round leader.
Which is what?
Plus 6,600.
Ooh.
You know, I put $100 on him because I'm, you know.
Now, I want to ask you about a guy. I don't even know. Is he even playing? Because I didn't see his name. Harold Varner.
You know, I don't think he is, but Harold Varner is a guy.
I love him for first round leaders. I'll always spend a little cash on that.
No doubt about it. Harold Varner is a guy that I would definitely be thinking about.
Yes, in a way. All right.
Anyway.
Well, Mike.
One other guy, and then before we leave,
that
has the ability to shoot +8 or be right there, Sergio Garcia. He's a guy that, listen, if the conditions get bad, Sergio has, I don't know about win, but he's plus 11,000, plus 1,200 for top 5. A lot of value. Sergio Garcia quietly has played probably one of the best in the world this year at tee to green. His putting is atrocious, though. Okay, so but this is, listen, Paspalum. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Paspalum greens. They are a little slower than regular greens. They're also not as much break, so
Paspalum.
The putts are a lot more straight. So for a guy like Sergio, who has a lot of trouble reading the greens, and I also think that's why Rory plays so well here, because a lot of it just comes up and hits the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Where a firm straight stroke is better for you. Those are kind of guys that can play well, and he's a guy that I would seriously consider. Sergio Garcia. So we'll leave you guys with that, and if we think of anything else, we'll be back Wednesday night around the same time.
We'll give you our official bet cards that we actually put our hard-earned money on,
and we'll get a better beat on the weather, because sometimes if we know that the weather's going to be bad in the morning or the afternoon, there's some serious possibilities, especially take advantage of first round leaders.
Well, that and certain guys pop up in value when you know what time of day the weather is going to get fierce. So it's not a bad idea to tune back in on Wednesday night.
Yep, Wednesday night at 9:30. Bigg Mike in the Nose signing out.
Thank you, guys. Thank everybody for watching. We would like you to like and subscribe to us on YouTube at Bigg Mike Knows Best. So, yes, we also have an Instagram at Bigg Mike Knows Best. Please come follow. Thank you.